Hey YouTube, your girl is back. Your girl is back with another YouTube video. All right, you guys, I have missed you all, but I am back for the week. I am back for the week, honey. If you are listening to my beautiful voice and you are not subscribed, what are you doing? What are you doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Turn those post notifications on. That way you'll be notified every single time that I post. And we are about to get into some things, honey. We're about to get into some things tonight, and we are going to catch up with Latrese, and we're going to talk about everything that has been going on. Unfortunately, honey, the saga continues. Now, if you are not able to catch me live, don't worry. Do not worry at all. If you cannot catch me live, then guess what? This video will be available for replay always. So, no worries there. So, give me 1 second, y'all. Let me turn my ringer off because people will call me. So let me just turn it on vibrate. And we are going to get into it, honey. We is going to get into it. Hey, Niecy. Hey, D Brown. Hey, thank you all for joining. Hey, Gaia Niece number 2. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. So let's get into it. Hey, Linda Johnson. Hey. All right, you guys. So let's get into it. So the last time that we talked about Treese, and that was actually my last video, honey, the allegations was flying about the children. And at that time, when I spoke about what had been going on. Hey, Keisha Mintz, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Hello. Oh, thank you, Niecy. Niecy says your voice is too cute. It gets me every time. Thank you. Some people say that. They say I have a different voice. I did not know that, but thank you so much. But yeah, last time we talked about Treese, I pretty much went live about Treese because I had saw the video that Coco had did saying how he was going to go in on it, talking about her going in. But I really didn't care to hey, Shonda's Thoughts, thank you for joining. Shout out to Shonda's Thoughts, honey. Her page also has a lot of good Treese content. So shout out to her as well, honey. She be going in over there. So yeah, last time I talked about Treese, I couldn't sit there through all of those conversations about those children. It just wasn't my cup of tea. I'm like, these are small kids. I ain't got time. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we left off at. Last time the conversation was more on, people, Coco, with his shenanigans and people speaking about things that the children were allegedly doing. But honey, it's gotten deeper. Okay. It's gotten deeper. It's gotten more, in my opinion, pathetic. And, it's just a smear campaign. It's a smear campaign that what is somebody doing out here? I'm sorry, y'all. It's, in my opinion, this is a smear campaign that is just going to a new low. And to me, before I get into, everything that's going on and provide my background, I just want to say it's like, how deep can your hate go for somebody that you're gonna go this far and you're going to, hey, Key 32, but you're going to go this far and you're going to put yourself in whatever line of fire, make whatever allegations just to continue a hate train or just to take somebody down. It's a whole lot of, and I'm going to give y'all some background and I'm going to give y'all my opinion. Now, like I said, the latest allegations that have been on these YouTube streets about Miss Latrese is, the first allegation was, things that she had allegedly done to her son Courtney. That didn't go through as people plan. Hey, Taisha Wright. Hey. But yeah, that didn't go through as planned because, people started to be like, well, wait a damn minute now. We're not going to sit up here and talk about these heinous allegations that ain't nobody calling the popo. And so and Courtney never came out and he never confirmed anything, and he pretty much says that he just tired of everything. So that didn't work. And the people who put these allegations out were like, oh yeah, we're not gonna say what it is, but just know it's very disgusting. Just know that she could be in jail. Just know this is why her children act the way they act. You know what I'm saying? So the people who were putting these allegations out were pretty much talking around it, and Coco came and confirmed it, and continued to talk about Latrese, continued to drag her. So the whole Courtney thing didn't go as planned, because a lot of people were giving a side eye to that situation. Because if you're going to come out on your platform and make allegations that serious, and these allegations are coming from people who had been around her and who had not done anything about it, now we giving everybody the side eye. So that plan didn't go through, right? And these are just my observations. Now the latest allegations come from Miss Lele. And everybody know Miss Lele is the girlfriend of Coco. And pretty much she is alleging that her and Latrese, when they were both small children, keep in mind she is older than Latrese. So I guess she said she was 8. I'm assuming Latrese was 7. I don't know how. I don't know exactly how old Latrese is. I don't know how much younger. But she's saying that when her and Latrese were younger, Latrese, they were around some other children, and Latrese did some things to her. Whatever. Y'all know YouTube sensitive. I cannot get into what it was. And I'm gonna say this. I said I'm gonna give my background, and then we're gonna stop at the background, and I'm gonna give the chain of events that I witnessed and why this ain't making sense to me. And I'm not going to hop on a bandwagon and put and drag someone and put those type of allegations on someone when everybody in the situation who's making these allegations is moving real shaky. Okay. Hey, the Kim's reaction show. But yeah, so she's saying that things happened between her and Latrese. Latrese did some things to her as a child. And she's traumatized by Latrese. That's why she's always said that it has gone deeper. And this is something that she's only spoken to her children about. And it caused great grief on her. It says this and that. The third says Ocean has deep history too, folks. But yeah, so pretty much, Lord Jesus, I be losing my train of thought. But anyway, pretty much she's alleging that Latrese abused her as a child, and this has caused great grief and agony on her. And that is why she's always told us that this situation has gone so deep for her, and she is distraught. And she was presenting as if she was in tears, and child, it was a lot. Okay. It was a lot. So in my opinion, because and I'm going to stop it right there. That is what Lele is now accusing Latrese of. Now, Latrese has been told us this a long time ago. Latrese has said this months ago, before Lele even came out with it, when her and Lele first started getting into it. Look, when we were children, we used to do things. That's what Latrese has always said. Latrese side of it is, listen, I was the youngest one. Older children were boosting us up to do things. It happened. Latrese has spoken openly about this. Lele's making it seem like it was all Latrese and this was some malicious act. But keep in mind, these children were elementary school grade children. Not saying that this act is normal, not saying that wasn't hard to hear, not taken away from anyone who has been through trauma as a child or anything of that nature. However, as my grandma has always told me, something in the milk ain't clean. Okay? Something in the milk ain't clean. And I'm going to stop it right there. We have the background. We have what Lele is saying. We have what Latrese is saying. And I'm going to give you the chain of events that I've watched with this situation from beginning to end to back up why I feel like this is a whole bunch of bullshit. Okay? And like I said, this is not diminishing or taken away from anyone who has been through any abuse, or anyone who has been through any uncomfortable situation as a child. This is not to demean or to take away from it. However, I'm not one of those people that's going to run with allegations and run with a smear campaign on someone just because the topic is sensitive. I'm a type of person, I like to look at all of the events that have transpired from everyone who's making the allegations, and I like to put everything into perspective, because I know that when someone is coming out and they're saying that something traumatic has happened to them, it's our natural reactions as humans to believe that person if they're presenting themselves to be a victim. But I am someone who has a realistic mindset, and I'm going to look at this situation as a whole. And I feel in this situation, people are using a sensitive topic, a triggering topic, to further their narrative and their smear campaign to take this woman down. And I'm going to tell you the chain of events that I've witnessed that have made me believe that. Now, before I do that, we're going to get into some comments. All right. This and that says, I'm in shock right now. D. Brown says, this is a lot. Yes, she did. Key 32 says, period. If anything, Latrese had issues, was younger, and she was bullied. If anything, Latrese was the victim. Not to mention, at first she claimed Treese was lying when Treese put it out. Exactly. Then I'm going to get into the chain of events that makes me, it's hard for me to empathize with this situation because something ain't making sense. There's some holes in the story. It says, I followed Treese since Florida. She's told that story many times. Exactly. Treese has spoken openly about the abuse that she's experienced as a child, the things that she's acted out and done as a child. She's openly spoken about, her life as a child and things that she did. And she spoke about this situation as well. And when she spoke about this situation months ago, no one addressed it. No one spoke out. So like I said, I'm gonna get to the chain of events that is making it hard for me to empathize with this situation in just a moment. I'm gonna read some more comments because I'm glad we're on the same page. It says, yeah, they're doing the most with the lies and the dramatics. Yeah. The Kim's reaction show says 100, honey. Lele and Coco want Treese to go to jail. They want something, but this is a lot. It says Lele was even smirking before she started talking about it. The lady is sick. Coco is using her to try to hurt Treese because he knew the history. They didn't like each other. Exactly. Hey, Crystal A. Brenda Turpin Seed said, 30 years fast forward, she's in bed with Coco, sleeping after her. I would be so far away from her. Exactly. That's another thing that doesn't make sense. It says, to see Lala's behaviors down to last night, but going back, she's obviously mental. Her world is caving. Something going on. Something is going on. And we're going to get into it. I'm going to read one more comment, and I'm going to get into the chain of events that I've witnessed that is making this hard for me to believe. It says, how it went from she didn't know Treese to Treese doing something to her. She's mentally sick. Exactly, the real Fifi. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, so here's the chain of events that I've witnessed that is backing my reason to feel like this is a whole bunch of bull. Okay, first thing first, Lele, Coco, and Latrese are all from the same area. They all grew up in the same area. Obviously, they all knew each other growing up. They all played together, and they all knew each other well before we knew them as characters on the internet. Okay, so with that being said, okay, it's not making sense to me how you all, and when I say you all, I'm speaking of Coco, Lele, and company, and the people who want to take down Latrese. You all want us to cancel Latrese and deem her as a terrible, horrible person based off of these allegations that you are putting out. Correct? Okay. However, Coco, you've known Latrese longer than we've known her. You grew up with her. So if she was a terrible monster, you witnessed these behaviors, but yet you was fresh out of jail, laid up with her. That's the first thing that don't make sense. Okay. For a check. Okay. Then, Lele, you also know of Latrese. You had this encounter with her. You say this encounter is traumatizing, but yet you align yourself with her ex-boyfriend who has an entire platform based around Latrese. Okay, so that's all right. you align yourself with someone who is attached to someone who you are now saying has caused all this trauma in your life, yet you sat back and you observe the same things that we observe, and you know that if you align yourself with this person, you're going to have to be reminded of this person who has traumatized you. You're going to have to talk about her. You're going to have to relive your interactions with her, because the person who you want to be in a romantic relationship has an entire platform based around her. So I don't know much. Like I said, I can't judge people for what they've been through. I'm not God, right? At the end of the day, God gonna expose it all. However, it's mighty funny to me. And it's not even funny. It's weird to me that someone would want to be attached to an ex-boyfriend of someone who has caused all this agony and grief. And not only is this the ex-boyfriend, but this ex-boyfriend's primary source of income revolves around talking about this person who you're saying traumatized you every day. I'm talking about every day. You sign up to be with the person who has to remind you of this person who traumatized you every day. Very much so weird. Okay, so let's get into some more chain of events that is making this not make sense. Okay, let me read some comments first. It says, when they were on vacation, she sure wasn't worried then at all. The rumor with Latrese's oldest son was never proven, so they had to think of the next thing to do to her. It will never end. Exactly. That's I'm gonna put that in my chain of events too. Lele knew better not to be being sexual at such a young age, even if Treese didn't. Isn't her parents pastors? Please tell me. She claims she didn't know better. Girl, bye. It says, is Shay speaking? I've been giving warnings. Is this Shay speaking? I've been giving warning. Sorry, but that's not a person that is me. I want no parts, no convo, no messages. I live like I don't know them. Right. It said they were cousins in the beginning. We finna get into those chain of events as well. It says that she was laughing, etc. at Courtney's pain. She definitely did laugh on the story about the first time anybody ever brought out allegations against those children. It was laughter. It was on video. It says her criminal history says it's all she knows. Her nurse career is about over. It's an eerie, weird. It says period. It says, but can't listen to her voice, etc. So she said. It says that's usually how it is, Martisa. In this, kids were being curious. It went on when I was a kid, not myself personally, but I had friends that lost their virginity as children. I mean, younger than teens. Exactly. And this is the thing about the topic at hand, and about children acting out in a sexual way, and these things transpiring between elementary school children. She's trying to say that Latrese is trying to push the narrative that this is normal. And I think as parents, we can all agree it's not something that's normal to us. It's not something that we want our children to experience, but it happens. And it's very common that small, younger children get curious and they do things that are inappropriate. That can happen. And that's why, as parents, we have now learned to do things to protect our children from that, because we've witnessed things as children. We all know the friend that wanted to keep playing mom and daddy. We all know the friend that wanted to make the Barbie dolls do things. We all know the friends that was too touchy-feely at recess, right? And so that's why, as a parent, I have rules set up. No, you're not finna lay up in a room with your door closed. We don't do sleepovers. No, you're not finna be sitting up in here up under no cover when your friends come over. Ain't no playing in no closet. No, none of that, because these things do happen. And I feel like these things are being misconstrued and exploited, and they're being used to trigger people, because they know that people who really been through some gruesome things are going to really resonate and be empathetic, and they want to use this as the talking point to take down Latrese. And I'm not here for it. I'm just not. That when they got back to Atlanta, S was going to hit the fan. She was reported 3 days before they left. It says, or abused kids are known. Exactly. Like everyone knows. That's why it's a known thing that you have to watch these children. As much as we want our babies to be innocent and not know anything about that type of thing, since the doom of time, that has been an issue among almost every community, Black, white, Latino, whatever, especially in when you're growing up in poverty stricken areas where there are a lot of parents who are working, not paying attention. A lot of children are left to fend for themselves. That is often the narrative, especially when you're dealing with children from different works of life, different walks of life, who have experienced their own abuse. And so if this transpired between two elementary school children, and one person saying, and one side is saying, hey, you know, there were older children boosting us to do these things, and this was things that we participated in because we were pressured by the older children, and one side is saying, well, no, was all you. who, I who's to say that we should believe one side over the other if both of you all were elementary school children? We don't know what transpired. But I'm gonna get back into the chain of events. It says all she does is laugh at everything. It says, why did she deny when Treese told why did she deny it when Treese told the story in the beginning? It's not like she hated her any less then. It's them with the whole smear campaign for me. Exactly. Playing on people's emotions. Exactly. Exactly why she remained quiet until now. Exactly. So that's the first weird chain of events. If this person has traumatized you, then why in the world would you go align yourself with their ex-boyfriend who has his primary source of income is smearing this lady and dragging her? The expectation is for him to come onto the internet and talk about her every day for a check. You knew this and you signed up to be with this man to be reminded of someone who is so-called traumatized you. Okay, cool. Boom. Then when you and your, now let's not forget, you guys, you and your ex-boyfriend, you all first get together, people start trying to play you and Treese against each other. Treese comes out and says, look, there's no issue with me and her. Actually, me and her is cousin. Me and her are cousins. You play it to the left like you don't know this lady. You play it to the left like she lying. Okay? So you're trying to convince us that you don't know her like that. Okay, but she's someone who has had this lasting impact on your life, and she's done something to you that is traumatizing, that has changed your life. And yet, when she comes out and she tells people, yes, me and her actually know each other, we're cousins, you play it all the way down like you don't know her. Then you and Coco get into it. And for the first time, you and Coco have a public argument, and you post a long message and you pretty much support Latrese. You pretty much say, look, this man is obsessed with Latrese. He talks about her money all day long. You pretty much out Coco when you all first get together, and you pretty much have the same sentiments as the people who support Latrese, and you pretty much say this man is obsessed. However, because he's able to get in your head and play the mind games, of course the narrative changes. But when you all first got together and you got into it, you spoke out and you agreed that he had an obsession. So this is also not making sense. It says Lala was 8 and Treese was 6, so she knew better than Treese. That is true. It says, good evening. Peace and bless you all. Thank you, Beauty TJ. It says, when Treese was in a relationship with Coco, Lala inboxed Treese. That's another layer of the story. So if this woman was this demon that you're trying to make her out to be, and she's this terrible person, then when you and Coco first got together, and you all had that falling out and you were trying to be done with him or whatever, why is it being said? Because look, we have here 3-hour conversation. It's, you have a conversation with this woman. You kind of back up what everyone is saying about him being obsessed. Later on, you switch your story because you and him make up, of course. But if you knew that she was this terrible person and you're standing on the fact that she's evil, then why did you ever have the same sentiments as her? Why did you play it off like you didn't know her? Why did you kind of speak out and admit that he was obsessed with her when you all first got into it? Another thing that's not making sense. Then, of course, the people continue to gas up the supporters, the people who support Coco and Lele, the people who support Latrese. Everyone's running back, passing information. Latrese is trying to move on. This is what I observe now. She's trying to move on. She's got drama going on with other people. She has her own thing going on, but yet Coco somehow finds his way back into the mix because, of course, he has to continue to talk about her to get the bag. Right? Okay, cool. So, let's get into some comments. It says, and Treese has shared that herself, she was in special school, etc. Right. I mean, Treese has been very open about the issues that she's experienced as a child. It says it didn't make sense. Her background was exposed after calling out the reaction channels, calling them bombs, then this. In her mind, thinking Treese was behind it. Things, I think it was a retaliation. That is a good observation, Latan. Let's not forget Lala and Trans share. I don't think it's Trans. I think it's the other lady, C. But Lala and I think it's C. They share the same baby daddy too. And I think it's C. I don't know what lady name is, but she was she was at Treese. And it says Lele was asked a question about platforms discussing the kids. She said they're not my kids, right? I heard that too. It says Lala is just mad at all these reaction channels that are exposing her. She wants them to go away. Exactly. We're gonna get into that with the timeline. It says I could never talk with the person who violated me, but for 3 hours, that girl is lying. Yeah, not making sense. It says he was off the chain at the hotel and in the car was disgusting. Very disgusting. Very disgusting. Yeah. Right. So you and Latrese continues to try to move on. This is what I'm witnessing now. She doing live. She talking about something completely unrelated, but yet there are continuous YouTube videos made about her. People are continuing to try to pin her and Trans against each other. Not Trans, Lord. People continue to try to pin her Lele against each other. Lele, you're feeding into it. Plus, you have this man beside you who wants to feed into it for the check. This is his bread and butter. This is going to get the traffic going. So you have this man beside you who is pledged to keep the mess going. So anytime she's involved in drama with anyone, oh no, you're fine, this, that, and the third. But yeah, anytime that she's involved in drama with anyone, he's gonna mold it himself on. He's gonna insert. He's going to blame her for his page getting taken down, even though he's on his page trashing a black woman every day, and there's a platform full of black women that follow him that may be upset as well. And so you're inserting yourself, getting yourself upset because your man is over here pouting because his money is being messed with because he doesn't know how to create real content. He just wants to trash and argue with another black woman all day long. Okay, cool. So then Treese gets fed up and she makes a status. She says, Lele, you talking all this, you talking about me, you have the skeletons in your closet, you have things that you've done that you're not proud of. Me and you actually used to do things together as children. She says this months ago. And you never address it. You make it seem like it's a lie. You don't say anything about it. Okay, now this is the chain of events that I'm witnessing. Nothing said. If she brought that up at that moment, and this was something that was truly traumatizing, and this was something that was very just damaging and all of this and the third, then that at that point, that would have been a trigger for you to speak out and tell the story then. But you played it off. You and Coco continue to antagonize her. Then you have Coco on his platform mocking the sexual abuse that Latrese has been through at 7 years old. He's accusing a 7-year-old of liking to be abused and violated by her stepdad. And you in the background hollering, laughing, hysterical. I'm talking about that really tickled you. It tickled you to the core. However, you yourself have had you're saying that you've had this traumatizing experience that has affected you, but your man is making a mockery of a similar situation. Now, this situation is more gruesome, but it's still in the same category. And you in the background thinking it's hilarious as hell. When people are speaking about Latrese's children and the things that they're supposedly acting out doing, there's a recording of you. You think it's hilarious as hell, but you're trying to you want us to believe that you had this traumatizing experience that has really hurt you from someone from Latrese. However, when your man is over here making a mockery, even going as far to make bodily gestures and imitate what allegedly happened at the age of 7 to Latrese and her stepdad, you're right there front and center rooting on, ha ha, he, it's all good. I don't understand. I don't understand. You know? And like I said, I don't have a heaven and hell to put anybody in, right? So this is not me sitting up here saying that, oh, Latrese is an angel and she would never do anything wrong. No, This is just me saying that how if you all are going to push these narratives that this person is a monster, and you all are going to push these narratives that you all are such innocent people and you all did nothing to this woman and she's bothering you for no reason, if you all want people to believe that, you're giving people a pretty hard time because it's not adding up. It's not adding up. Thank you, you guys. Hit that like button. Um, let's see. It says she think people don't like her because of trees. No, people don't like you because because honestly, when she first came onto the platform, I never heard Tree say anything about her until people continued to bring her up in the comment section, continued to making comparisons, and that's when that triggered Latrese to start responding and clapping back. But to me, I always looked at her as like, damn, you caught up in the middle of this situation. I honestly, when she first came on the scene, I felt kind of bad for her because I'm like, oh Lord, like you got to be with this man and he got to talk about his ex-girlfriend every day, and this is a lot. But what people but this is the thing, if you cannot align yourself with the man who's going to antagonize another woman, especially a black woman, every day, and he's going to make fun of her pain, make inappropriate jokes, talk about her children, call her small son gay, all of these things. You cannot align yourself with that and then want to try to go and say, no, this lady is bothering me. No, you're a part of antagonizing. Instead of you encouraging your man to look, let this go. Let it go before it go too far. Let's move on. Let's do something else. Let's not feed into this for a check. You're right alongside co-signing everything he's saying, but yet you don't want to be associated with the drama. It don't add up. Exactly. It says exactly. People other than Trees can't stand her. This Coco was already getting irritated because Lala wasn't going with social media like he felt she should. Right. He was expressing, he even broke it down in a live. It was a minute ago when they got into it real bad and they had a breakup or whatever. And he was basically saying, like, look, it's certain things that is expected of me. In so many words, he pretty much said, look, Lele, I got to get on here and argue with Latrese for the money. You got to get rid of the loss. In so many words. In so many words. Lala never responded. Oh, these comments are going so fast, y'all. It says he lost numerous followers when she came about. She's just not a likable person. It's her demeanor. All right, let me scroll to the bottom, y'all. All right, right is right and wrong is wrong. It said it was I failed to need to get people to focus on the people alone and the records that she has. It says people don't like her because of her mouth. It says, it's that she tries to put out that she's this and that, but ma'am, you are not even close, and nobody's jealous, boo. You don't have anything anyone would aspire to have. Like, she is demented. I'm sorry. It says, yeah, she came and taking his phone out of his hand. It was just too jazzy already. And you have to think, you came onto a platform with a man who is bashing a woman. So he already was receiving backlash because people going to get tired of it eventually. Yeah, people don't like Latrese. People don't care for her. But at the end of the day, we're not, there are a lot of people okay, all right, y'all had a breakup. Okay, we was entertained, but now it's time to move on. And there are a lot of people who were over. A lot of people were over him, basically making them, basically sitting on his platform wanting some respect for trashing a woman all day, and people were getting tired of that and turning on him. So she walked into a messy situation. God made me say correct. Did you see how he was pacing back and forth, making sure she don't say anything wrong? Yeah, it was very cringy, very cringy. Beauty TJ says, if you go into a situation, there's mess. I wouldn't care how many times you say you come in peace. You should dismiss yourself. That's like asking for failure. Exactly. Especially now that you're coming out and you want us to empathize and you want people to believe you. Because, you're sharing with a platform full of people because you want something to be done. You want an outcome. You want people to stop supporting her. You don't want us to look at her in any type of positive light. You want us to believe your narrative that you're putting out. But you're gonna, and this is not, I'm not trying, like I said, I'm not God, I'm not omnipotent, I'm not everywhere all the time. Only God knows exactly what transpired with all those children in that room that day, right? So I'm not sitting up here trying to take away from whatever traumatic or whatever inappropriate experiences people had as small children. But what I'm saying is, you're going to have a hard time grasping an audience that you're looking for, and you're going to have a hard time gaining that traction, that respect, and you're going to have a hard time gaining that empathy, aligning yourself with the grown man who has mocked the abuse that you're speaking with. You're aligning yourself with the grown man who is adamant on keeping this hate train going. He is adamant that he's going to continue to tear this woman down. And so you're never going to get any peace. You're not. So and you cannot put it all on her. She didn't come checking for you. Your man could not take the fact that he got dogged out after he got exposed for being a user and a manipulator, and he built a platform based on hate for one person. And so I don't understand what you're expecting out of a situation where a grown man is going to be dedicated to every day, all day. I'm going to entertain my audience and drag and roast another woman because guess what? That is what's paying these bills. Like, it's crazy. Hey, Frederick Wright. It says, you notice all the reactions to him to speak against Trees ain't said nothing. It's only Roz. Everyone sees right through it. It's a lot. It's just a lot. It's a lot. And it's a lot. I'm sorry, y'all, if I'm missing comments. Everything going so fast. But yeah, it's a lot. And like I said, back to the chain of events, the first narrative they tried to push was that, oh, her business is terrible, her seasoning is poison, and oh, let's destroy her business, right? And that didn't work. Even though she eventually had to stop doing her business, she still was grinding, she still getting to the bag, she's still doing what she got to do. So that part didn't work. That was a flop. Okay, guess what? She still has social media. She can't sell season no more. She don't want to do it no more because of all the backlash. Okay, cool. I'll do something else. Cool. That didn't work. So now they got to come up with something else. Now we're going to go after she's gonna move into her new home. We're gonna leak the address. That was going on Coco's platform, which I think got it shut down the first time. That don't work. She don't give a damn. She go cop another spot. She go get her another spot to stay in. Everything's still good. Then they want to push the narrative that she's a terrible parent. They want to call CPS because of the situation that happened with her and Courtney when they got into it. So she sends her children, to a less chaotic environment. She makes a decision as a parent, which is her right to make whatever decision that she want to make. And I'm not saying it's a decision that I would make. Me and her, two different people. But she makes a decision to send her children to Florida to be with family so that she doesn't have to deal with the CPS, the drama, the chaos, and all this and the third. She falling out with everybody. It's chaos all around. She's sending the children to a more stable environment. They want to push a narrative that she's a bad parent for that. But they really can't push that narrative because, oh, ding, ding, ding. We also have Lele, who's in a similar situation where her child or children, I don't know how many she has, are not with her every day. So we really can't really drag her for not being with her kids like that because, the other lady on here who we trying to support, well, her children or child, however many she has, is not with her every day. So it ain't fair for us to we can't really go too deep. Hey, LaDonna. But yeah, we can't really go too deep with this whole narrative about the parenting because, Lele, her child lives with the other parent or whatever the backstory is. So, we can't really go with that narrative. So that don't work. That don't work either. So then, boom, let's push the narrative that her children are doing something inappropriate. Let's push the narrative that the reason why her children is gone away because something happened with their siblings. Well, then that blow up because people like, well, wait a goddamn minute. Y'all ain't finna keep talking about these damn kids. Okay? Don't nobody want to hear that. If something going on with the children, the people who was around it, who was witnessing it, should have did their due diligence and reported it correctly. So no, we don't want to keep hearing y'all come on here talking about these children. These are underage kids who cannot defend themselves. So that narrative don't work because everybody like, well, wait a minute. All y'all friends who said y'all was around and y'all say y'all witness and this, that, and the third, it ain't making sense. It's not making sense. Hey, Steph Glows on stage. But yeah, so that narrative doesn't work. Then the narrative comes with Courtney, and there's this alleged recording going on where someone recorded Courtney saying this, that, and the third, but they really can't back that up or say that because, Courtney ain't really trying to feed into it, and it's this is all hearsay at this point, and people side-eyeing them like, wait a damn minute now, y'all got the duty to report. Why the hell are you all bringing these allegations to a YouTube platform, but not going to the pop-out? So they're like, oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, wait a minute. We can't push that narrative because the child ain't cooperating. He ain't coming in. He not confirming. We can't really push that narrative because he ain't gonna speak out and confirm or deny nothing. So that narrative may not work. And then it's a sensitive topic. It's some real serious allegation. It's real some legal stuff. And we got a lot of people that's giving us a side eye because we can't sit up here and gossip about this but not do nothing about it. So that narrative ain't gonna work. That narrative ain't gonna work. Oh, then let's not forget the Keisha T narrative. Let's not forget them trying to make it seem like Treese had something to do with Keisha T not being able to go to the hospital, but then that got shut down because Treese took a lot of take the test. These very people who act like they care so much about Keisha T was dogging her. I'm talking about going in on Keisha T, God rest her soul, but going in on Keisha T, talking about her all types of crazy when she was Latrese's friend, Coco. Yes. Going in. I'm talking about going in on her, all because she was affiliated with Latrese. Even when she was affiliated with Latrese, she was still her own person. She still had her own personality. She still had her own page. But just because she was affiliated with Latrese, disrespecting her to the fullest, now it's tears and sympathy. But people saying through that. People see that's not right. So we can't run with that. So now let's try to say, let's go ahead and put this situation out that happened when Lele and Latrese were small children. This is Coco orchestrating this. Go ahead, Lele, because all these other narratives ain't working. The other platforms is putting it out. It ain't coming together. And this is what I feel like is going on in, behind the scenes. It ain't coming together like I want it to come together. I want Latrese to be taken down. Now, I want all the support. I want all the money. I want everything. It's too many pages calling us out. It's too many pages. Thank you, God made me. Hit that like button. But yeah, it's too many pages out here that's calling us out. It's too many pages out here that's noticing the inconsistencies in the stories. It's too many pages in here. There's too many reaction channels out here. They ain't biting the bait lately. So now we got to use this situation because we know people hate dishing out local tea. But yeah, now we have to we got to push this narrative about abuse because there's a lot of women that follow us. There's a lot of women that have been through real traumatic situations who are emotionally triggered. And when we brought up what happened with them kids, people was really biting it, but then they kind of pulled back because, they was side-eyeing people for not reporting it correctly. So now that, we know that people are really, really, really moved by this abuse thing, right? But Courtney couldn't come out. He didn't come out and that Courtney couldn't come out and he couldn't, he didn't confirm, he didn't deny, he didn't want to deal with it at all. So we couldn't get the traction that we thought we was gonna get out of that. So now you gonna come and you gonna tell what happened with you and Treese when you all were small children, and you gonna put it out there like you was the one that something traumatic happened to. That's because this is gonna help us take her down, and we gonna get all the support, and I'm gonna be the GOAT. That's what I feel is going on. Period. We're talking about, if someone said, we're talking about something that happened between a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old 30 years ago. Okay. All right. It says Josephine Stovall says they want trees to sink, but they're sinking. Yeah, because this is the thing that my grandmama always told me. You got to be careful the hole that you dig for other people because you're going to end up in it. You don't dig no hole for people. Let God deal with people. God gonna expose everything. If it's some stuff that need to be exposed, put it in God's hand and he gonna bring it out. I don't believe in trying to take matters into your own hand and bring people down, especially when your hands ain't all the way clean either. Latrese has spoken openly about her abuse. She's spoken openly about things that she did acting out as a child. She's already given us this information. And at the end of the day, it's not far-fetched to believe that there are older children in a room hyping up the youngest child to do something crazy to somebody. That's not hard for me to believe. So the same way people can hear Lele's story and they can be like, yeah, this is sad. This is traumatizing. Then people can also hear Latrese story and be like, well, this makes sense as well. If these people are older than you, it does make sense that an older child would coerce you all to do things. Either way it go, we're not God. We don't know, but God gonna bring the truth out regardless. However, in the midst of the truth coming out, whether it be in favor of whoever, you cannot sway people to cancel somebody when your hands ain't all the way clean. you know And to me, it's manipulation because this is a sensitive topic. Most people are not going to want to touch the topic because then it can seem like you're dismissing someone's trauma. And so you're trying to play on people's emotion to fit the narrative that you want because you just hate this lady and you don't like her. And that's not right. It says that's all he keeps saying is grind mode. We have to get this paper up. Yeah. For me, I think this is a money grab. I think this is all Coco's plot to take down Latrese because he truly wants some ruling power over everyone that once supported her. He wants to have a big following based off the hate for her because he sees how people feed into hate. People will feed into hate more than they will feed into anything. You can post a cooking video, a workout video, a healthy food video. You can post something very positive. People, will barely tune in, but let you be talking about something negative. So he's taking heed to that and he wants to keep it going, but he knows that just sitting on here talking about how she look and how her kids look and how her grandma look, that's not gonna cut it. People gonna get tired of hearing about that. People ain't finna keep on want to hear this petty cracking on folks talking about their appearance, all that. So now let's go deeper. Let's gauge more of an audience by bringing up this triggering topic. So that way we can have people on our side because we know the average person is not going to want to call out inconsistencies in a story if it's about a sensitive topic because they're afraid of the scrutiny they'll face. Poho69 says, but if she do get shut down, what content are they going to have? They will be talking about each other. Exactly. And, and she said it. And it was very sad because she had a live one day and she was like, and I didn't go live about this because I was busy, but, it was a live, I think it was last week or week before last or something. And she was like, what if the Lord just take me on up out of here? Then what? And she was like, maybe that needs to happen. And I'm like, it is so sad that the internet, has become so toxic and people have become so invested in other people's lives that you have someone literally feeling like, well, dang, maybe if I'm not here anymore, then maybe everything will stop. That is, and if you know that you're making someone feel that way, then why not let up? This person, I don't care what nobody say. You all can talk about all the clapbacks. You all can talk about all the mean things that she said in response. But one thing that I know is that you all, the people who hate her guts, before she said anything about you all, before she was insensitive to you all, before she said anything disgusting or degrading to you all, she was minding her business with her children, living her life, and you all came antagonizing and bothering her on a daily basis. Before anything was said out the way, before any cussing out, fussing, arguing back and forth on the internet, you all came and you all wronged her. Nitpicking, bothering her, tearing her to shreds relentlessly, and you all would not let up. And still haven't let up. So it's hard for me to empathize with people who be starting shit. I can't empathize with you when you go looking for trouble and you find it. I can't. Because they trying to swim, but they're about to drown themselves. Yeah. Definitely. Hey, first baby mama. All right. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I missed a lot of comments. My bad. Let me go to the bottom. It says, I'm with you now. Thank you. Yeah, it made me sad to hear her say that. She was like, well, dang. Hey, Shay M. Hey. It says that was not her place. None of them clothes with her size. Who have a drive for clothes when y'all go to laundromat? Who would go sleep on the air mattress? You have a whole bed. It says even when she gone, they still using her name for views and money like they do in KT. Exactly. I don't care. I don't believe that she was the one victimized. Treese was a whole baby. No matter what she was exposed to, Lele should have known better since she supposedly have had a better life. That's a valid observation. We got to stand with Treese. We see right through the junk Lele is trying to pull. Yeah. And it's sad because it's like, you all are doing all this for what? You all say she's bitter. Like Lele went live on, she was like, oh, you're doing all this about a breakup. This is about a breakup. No, ma'am, it's not about a breakup. This is about a man trying to capitalize off a breakup when he was the one being deceptive and being a snake in the beginning. This is about what your man created. Your man preyed on this woman, used her for her money, manipulated her, embarrassed her. And yes, she did come out and she did cuss his ass out and she did dog him and she did do whatever. And instead of him just saying, look, well, I don't got what I got out of the situation. I done got me some money, some free room and board, some clothes. My due diligence is done here. Instead of him being a real man and moving on, he wanted to continue to eat off her name. This is what your man created. He created a platform full of people who don't want to do anything but bash somebody every day. He created the toxicity that you're involved in, ma'am. So they've already been throwing shots. He said Rod's not the GOAT. If it wasn't for him, none of this would have been brought to light. Exactly. I heard him say that. Like someone in the chat was like, yeah, Roz is the GOAT. And he was like, no, no, she ain't the GOAT. We could say she the sheep or something, but I'm the GOAT. I think I'm the GOAT, y'all. Like you can tell the jealousy, the greed is there. This man is greedy. This man, I don't know no real man who finna sit up here and squabble on the internet with women all day for no amount of money. There's an amount of pride and dignity you have as a grown man. Ain't nobody saying you got to tuck your tail and you can't defend yourself. But when you know you was in the wrong, when you know, well, you know what, I did go into the situation. I did embarrass. I did use her. I really didn't want to be there. Hell, you know what I'm saying? I don't came on here. I don't threw my little shots back at her. It's over with. You continue to poke and poke and poke like a female because you want the mess. You want the drama. It says, and what about Coco saying she was easy? He don't say some of everything about that woman. And it's like, and she wants to continue to bring everything back to Treese. The real enemy is who you lay in bed with every night. That's going to be the ruin of you. That is going to be your downfall. That is going to be, even if, let's say Treese say, you know what, I don't want to do social media no more. I'm done. I'm gone. Deuces. Never going to see me again. I'm going to go live somewhere, take my money, invest in me some properties. I'm going to disappear from the internet. Guess what? You're going to still have issues because you're laying with a toxic ass man who don't really have no real get up and go by himself. All he know is, let me take the easy way out and entertain these folks and feed they disgusting need for hatred every day for a check. That's it. It says, yeah, she was. You were absolutely correct. It says that's what they want her to do, hurt herself and give up. Exactly. And what are you all going to gain from that? If she ends up hurting herself and if she ends up, and I'm pretty sure that's not going to be the case. But if that does happen, then what? Then what? What you going to talk about? Now you've built a whole platform based off hatred of this woman. So if one day she just decides, okay, well, I'm not going to do social media no more. I done found something else. Let's say she hit the lottery tomorrow. 500 million. Okay, I'm gone. I'm finna find something else to do. Then what is going to be left? What is going to be left to talk about? It says that's some soul ties. Yeah. I really feel bad for Latrese. Like it's sad. People have been taking advantage of her all her life, and they wonder why she's so dismissive of people and untrusting of people. Exactly. Like this woman has been used and abused since she was a small child. Of course, there are gonna be some toxic behaviors. Of course, there's gonna be some characteristics that are not she's going to react in ways that the average person wouldn't react to certain things. Of course, there's going to be some issues with being emotionally intelligent and emotionally available for people. Of course, there's going to be a lot of trauma, a lot of pain, a lot of experience, and the experiences there that are hard to talk about and gruesome to relive because you don't want to think about a child going through those things. You don't want to think about, what really goes on when you are having a child that is experiencing such agony and grief at such a young age. And I don't understand why people don't understand that. And the same people who do all this picking and potting and antagonizing on a daily basis, when people try to bring out their skeletons, or when people try to drag some things out of their closet, oh, it's all hell breaks loose, or it's very dismissive. Like, no. That's why it's important to help her and her children fight against the people. Exactly. Because I think she's mad at Treese because he came her way and she's stuck. Yeah. That's why all these has come out to protect, because the kings have come out to protect the queen, because it wasn't enough standing up for Treese. The reason the queens came to protect her too. Angels protecting her, none of them but devils. But yeah, it's just, and like I said, to me, I just feel like that's what's really sickening about this social media thing. It's like people literally will try to push different narratives to feed their hate for someone. Like, if you don't like someone, just say you don't like them. But stop trying to use all these triggering situations to get people to buy into it. It's either people gonna see through your bullshit or they ain't. It's some people gonna rock with you, they gonna support you, and it's gonna be some people who ain't with it. And stop trying to shame people who ain't hopping on the bandwagon. I'm sorry, just because y'all on all y'all platforms saying y'all got recorded, and just because y'all calling Latrese this, that, and the third, I'm a grown woman. I don't have to believe nothing y'all saying. So if I'm someone who's speaking out and I'm just giving a logical perspective, I'm like, hey, I feel like this is a smear campaign. People have the right to feel that way. In my last video, somebody came and they were like, oh my God, Treese must be paying you. And I'm like, why can't you all accept that everyone is not going to grasp onto the narrative that you all are trying to spin? People have their own minds here. People can clearly see what's going on. Most people, majority of people, are hateful and mean and want to keep drumming mess going. But there are some people who still are solid at the core and who look at things realistically. And at the end of the day, just because a lot of you all got together and started a rumor about somebody, now you're trying to force that on everybody else when none of this has been solidified with any evidence or proof. Even with the recording, we have not heard Courtney speak out about anything. So it's just a lot. It's a lot to digest, and it's a lot of people worried about the wrong thing. People worried about who's supporting who, instead of just living in your truth, doing your content, and moving on. I was trolling him, but I only did it once, and I got blocked. Let's see. It says, I'm 56. I was M at the age of 4. I'm still in therapy. Have had a hard time having good relationships. It's a struggle. Yeah, it's definitely a struggle, Miss Patricia, and it's something that people don't understand. And that's why, when I hear situations about small children, it's hard for me to look at the small children as villains because when you're dealing with small adolescent children who don't know any better, things do happen. Unfortunately, it should not, it's not something that we should normalize, but it's very common that, different children come from different backgrounds and they're exposed to different things. And some children act out and do inappropriate things. And that's why we have to do a better job as a community with nurturing our children, filtering what our children indulge in, and doing better for the next generation. But sitting on a platform full of people discussing these things, getting a kiki, a laugh out of it, it's not that's not adding any value. So that's why I call bull crap on this fake awareness campaign that they're trying to put on Latrese, because at the end of the day, you all are the same people. You all want to bring awareness to this, and you want to get the empathy, and you want to get the tears, and you want people to buy into your pain and your hurt. But in the same breath, just a few weeks ago, this man is on his platform and going in on Latrese and mocking her for what she's been through. If my girlfriend comes to me and confides in me and say, hey, as a child, something happened to me, I was abused, why would I get on my platform and then mock the next person for being abused, knowing that this is a trigger for my girlfriend? And why is my girlfriend in the background laughing? Why is everyone finding this funny? You all find it funny when Coco is mocking the abuse. You all thought it was funny. So excuse the hell out of me for not believing the narrative that you all trying to push. I cannot take you serious sitting up here trying to preach and trying to start a campaign to bring awareness to abuse, but you co-sign a grown man mocking abuse. I cannot get with that. I'm sorry. Period. Yeah, definitely praying for you, Patricia. It's a very hard thing to overcome. Dishing out local tea says Lele thought everyone was going to turn against Trees after her show. Yeah, and that's the sad thing, because at the end of the day, if you truly went through something traumatic, it's not about a whole bunch of strangers on the internet who you don't know turning against this person. At the end of the day, you why did you put yourself in a situation that is going to be unhealthy to your healing? If that's the case, if you're truly going through this, if this is something that has truly traumatized you, like I said, I'm not God, I don't know. But if this is something that has truly traumatized you, then why are you aligning yourself with people who are affiliated with this woman? Why are you involving yourself in every negative conversation? Do you know I don't even listen to certain things on the radio? I don't even watch certain movies because I don't want that type of stuff in my mind. If a movie, if there's a movie on TV that's very gruesome, that's very horrific, I won't even watch. I don't even want that in my mind. I don't even want my energy with that type of stuff. If I'm already in a bad mood and there's a song that comes on the radio that's sad as hell, I'm a turn, because I don't even want to consume. That's going to affect me trying to get back into a better mood. So if I'm someone who has been through trauma and abuse as a child, I'm not going to go align myself with a grown man who's tearing down his ex-girlfriend every day for $1. I'm not, because that's not going to be conducive to me healing as an individual. How am I going to heal? How am I going to move on my life when the only thing that we can do every day is sit around and talk about your ex-girlfriend for a check? It ain't making sense. It doesn't make sense. I don't know what happened with these people when they were children. I'm not here to be the judge or the juror or anybody. All I'm saying is it ain't adding up. It ain't making sense. It says, I think mostly Ross got that Coco and her keep it going. Yeah, Coco Lele definitely keep it going. It says, it was all the fake emails for me. Yeah. She really thought everybody saw right through it. Right. Because people are not stupid. People are not dumb. People can see through all of this. And people hate that. That's why they criticize channels like myself and other channels who speak out in support of people who are the underdog, because they're like, oh my God, how dare you question our motives? We know that we started watching this lady and we didn't know her from a can of paint, and she was a complete stranger, and we just started antagonizing her and attacking her for everything that she do, down to the way that she looked, down the way to her kids look. We know that we talked about every single person who ever surrounded themselves with her. Everybody who we've now befriended, we dogged them out when they were hanging with Trees, but now we all friends because we hate Trees. But how dare you question our motives? We're good people over here. No, that's fake and flawed. If I didn't like you when you was hanging with Trees, I don't like you now. What's the difference? If I thought you was a disgusting person when you was hanging with Trees, I think the same way now. What is the difference? When Coco was with Trees, everybody was like, oh my God, look at his teeth, look at his hair. We would not trust him around our kids. Oh, what is Trees doing? We hate him. But now you all love this man. You don't know him from a can of paint. He has not contributed anything to your life positive. So, but we're supposed to follow your lead because you have a large platform that's built on hate. Get out of here. It says, Miss Jump for Joy says, yes, people are mean and hateful, but if she would get her some counseling and not be on social media doing these despicable things when nobody would have anything to feed off of. And that's true. There has to be balance. I feel like social media is not easy, especially when you're someone who's dealing with your own personal demons. And that's why I feel like it's important to take breaks. So that's why I could never see myself just really, I mean, never gonna say never, but with me working full time, being a mom, having my own things going on outside, I do other things on the side. I'm trying to get other businesses and things started on the side. Just me trying to tap into my black girl magic over here. You know what I'm saying? Just keeping it going. I'm always thinking of the next move. My friends know I'm always thinking of a million different ways to get to it. For me, being mentally at peace is very important for me. So that's the reason why I don't come on every single day, because I need my breaks to be great. So, she will have to find balance and get the counseling that she needs, but that still doesn't give people the excuse to be mean and hateful and gaslight and picket that. All right, let me scroll to the bottom. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I done missed so many comments. Okay, let me start right here. It says, we are not judging her. We are minding our business, enjoying her and her children. Nobody has the right to judge nobody. She is not doing anything wrong, protecting herself and her kids. Right. Like, I have not seen Latrese get on here and just, oh, okay, today we're going to talk about so and so. We're going to drag this person. I've seen Latrese get on here. She's always made fun of, she's always tried to make herself the butt of the joke. She going to tell you her imperfections before she let anybody else tell you. She going to tell us some life stories. She going to tell us the embarrassing things that she did as a child, no matter how gruesome it may be to hear. She's going to also tell us what's going on in her life, and expose things that she goes through as a mom, as a as a daughter, whatever. And what happens is, people criticize that, antagonize that. They pick and pick and pick, and then she clap back and she don't give a damn what she says. There's no filter there. That's what I've witnessed. And so it's hard for me to empathize with the people who always try to make it sound like, oh, she's this hateful person. Did you see what she said to so and so? Did you see her? But it's like, but if you all came bothering her, this happened over a year. This has been going on for damn near a year and a half now. You all came bothering her. You all jumped on the bandwagon where her and Coco were going through the breakup, and you all decided to use that to further fuel your hate for her. Period. That's right. They still act like kids in high school, ganging up on somebody that other people don't like. It's very childish. It's like, there are certain people who are just not going to rock with your campaign. Just like there are certain people who probably don't like the perspective that I have. But I'm not going to go attack them. I'm not going to judge their character. I'm going to judge people's character off of what they display. But I'm not going to say, well, okay, if you support so and so, if you support Coco and Lele, then I'm just, that just means you're this despicable person. No, it just means that you support Coco and Lele. That's it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't get personal for me. But from their side, it's all these attacking people for just calling out the inconsistencies. Like, at the end of the day, people have the right to question your motives when you're on here doing things that are distasteful as well. You're doing things just as distasteful as she does. So I'm sorry, I'm not gonna hop on a bandwagon. I'm not gonna hop on a bandwagon of hate just because you all said so. That's not how life works. They talked about Jesus. They trashed Jesus. People tried to turn everybody against Jesus. People tried to make it seem like he was a terrible person. They literally crucified him for being who he was. And just imagine if and everybody not religious, so some people, this probably won't go over some people's head. But just imagine if we ran with the narrative that the masses had when they wanted to crucify him. Just imagine if we ran with the narrative that he was this terrible person they were trying to make him out to be in the Bible. Then we wouldn't have the knowledge and the foundation to know what being a good person is today. So it's just like, it's like you all say that you all are this spiritual people and that you're these God-fearing people, but you cannot. But I don't understand how you all can't grasp the concept that you cannot crucify people, and you don't have the heaven and hell to put this person in. And when you continuously make it your business to attack someone, especially for the people who never had any interaction with Trees, they don't know her from a can of paint, they just started watching her content and she clapped back at their ass, and now they have a personal problem with her. For you all to take it this far to try to assassinate somebody's character, baby, every dog have their day. You're never gonna win playing dirty like that. You're not. It says, what you want the same things that y'all don't see. Once again, there's judgment being passed on both sides. But this is the thing. I'm not telling people to not go support Coco and Lele. If you like their content, if you like their channel, or whoever else in Coco and Company, whoever. I'm not saying that you don't have a right to be drawn to these channels and like them. I'm not saying you have to support Latrese. So the judgment, for me, judgment doesn't mean that there's a difference between people just not agreeing with someone's actions and people being judgmental. Judgmental is when you literally are crucifying and creating problems with people because they have a different opinion than you. That's how I feel. So at the end of the day, it's nothing wrong with saying, no, I don't think this is right. I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? This is not right. But the judgment comes when you're ridiculing and criticizing everyone who thinks differently than you. I'm not ridiculing, criticizing people that want to support Lele, Coco, Roz, whoever else. I'm not doing that. All I'm saying is, from my perspective, there are some inconsistencies, there's some unfairness, and there are some things that are being overlooked. And people are trying to spin a narrative and trying to manipulate and gaslight and use triggering situations to get people to, lean in their favor. That's all I'm saying. Hey, Vicky Mac. Patricia said, right, my mother said I caused this. I was 4 and my brother molested all 3 girls. I have not spoken to my family in 9 years. Ooh, that is tough. Mm-mm-mm. It says, Miss John for Joy, it's insane to think she wants anything from Miss Perfect Life. She needs to stop. There's nothing good in what they're doing. It's a hate group. Definitely. Most definitely. Hey, Mariah MS4L. Yeah. All right. Hey, Lucinda Speaks TV. It says, yep. And that's why I like her. She's real as they come, and they can't take it because they live their lives with a huge front, like they have it all together when they actually have the most to hide. Right. Like everybody got skeletons in their closet, period. Everyone has things, like I say all the time. I don't think anybody would sign up to have a camera follow them 24 hours a day around here. Okay. Because when you're opening yourself up to public scrutiny, you have people who are not going to be realistic. You have people who are not going to understand why you don't feel like cleaning up every day. Or you're going to have people who are not going to understand, in Latrese's case, why she may come on here and she may not present herself a certain way, or she don't come on here all glammed up every day with makeup on. You have people who act like they don't understand that. And so, people are very critical when they're looking at somebody else's life. But then when you try to criticize what they got going on, it's a problem. And that's the part that I'll be confused about. Since most of these people talking negative about Treese only started following her when she got with Coco. Treese always told us about her life before Coco. Right. I've been watching her for a long time, and she's always openly spoke about things that she's experienced from childhood and adulthood and all type of things. She's told us a lot of her pain and transgression. So I don't understand why this is a narrative being pushed like, oh my God, she's this monster. This is going to be going on since we were children. But yet you all knew her since you were children. You all said she's this monster. She's such an evil person. She ain't never been right. But Coco, you willingly went and laid up with her for the check. Make it make sense, baby. All right, let me scroll to the bottom. It says, Rita Williams says, we can judge righteously. Yep. It says that Lele forget that she admitted she came into this to antagonize Treese. Like, ma'am, you no longer have the right to play victim. Sorry. Ernestine Miller says, yes, manipulation is when they blame you for your reaction, to the disrespect. Exactly. And that's what people do on this internet. It's kind of like these people come after these content creators, these larger content creators, they antagonize them, they pick apart everything they do. But then when the people clap back, when they say some things, then everyone needs to gang up on them and counsel them for saying this and saying that. Like, that's not how it works. It's not how it works. Ms. John for Joy says, it's sad to say that social media has been placed in our hands and we do not know how to use it correctly. That is true. Just hand each other down, making a mockery of ourselves, exploiting each other is sad. I mean, yeah, it's sad. But I'm a type of person that I like to look at how things started. And I have a hard time empathizing with people who maliciously antagonize people and maliciously and involve themselves in picking and taunting people, and then want to pull back and be the victim. Like, I cannot empathize with you after that. You know what I'm saying? Because you weren't moving right from the beginning. Rita, ain't no right on this here social media, so no. It says, and it's the same story as Treese always told over and over again. They might as well give it up, right? Like, she's Treese. One thing about it is, and I watch Funky Dineva all the time, and he has this wonderful saying. He says, "Never let nobody spray you with your own tea." And that's the truest thing. I can respect a person, like I said, I can respect somebody who gonna come on out and gonna tell you what it is, good, bad, or indifferent. Whether, and don't worry, and they don't give a damn what the judgment is or what comes behind it. I can respect someone like that who's just gonna come out and give it to you raw and real and unfiltered, versus people who try to manipulate and cover up and try to manipulate people to believe something that's just not it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Coco, you cannot come on here and try to convince us that you're a victim. You're not. You're not. You're not a victim of anything. If your pages got snatched down, they deserved to be snapped down. You snatched down. You literally have a page full of people that literally hate one person. Everyone who has a platform that is going in on one person all day long, and there are allegations about children and there's leaking of addresses, anytime that's going on a platform, it's going to be at jeopardy. And it doesn't have to be tree supporting, but even if she did report it, guess what? You're talking about her, you're antagonizing her, you're harassing her. If she did report your page and get it taken down, she has every right to. And he was saying the other day, like, oh, my money's being affected. It should, sir. It should be affected because you don't know when to let up. You don't know when to let up. You know? And I just feel like that's the problem. People don't know when to let up. I'm not saying that you cannot have your commentary. I'm not saying you can't talk about things, you can't discuss things that are going on publicly, but it's just, it should be boundaries to it. It should be levels to it. I'm not finna sit up here, and I'm not about to try to push a narrative when I know that I'm not being 100% transparent and honest myself. you know It says, "Look at trees like the lady in the Bible. When Jesus told them he who is without sins needs to throw the first stone. Let me see a stone, please." Right, and that's the problem. It's too many people throwing stones, trying to stone somebody, trying to end somebody. But the minute there is any type of backlash, the minute there's any type of feedback, the minute that people question their motive, it's the problem. It's the name calling. It's all of that. It's like, if you all are going to take on the duty to be the primary Latrese takedown crew, you all are going to sign, seal, and honor to take this woman and end this woman. Then you all need to also be prepared for the questions and the backlash, and the people that are not going to be here for it. And I'm sorry, it's just not making sense. It ain't making it make sense. Has been said on other platforms as well, because if not, you should. Not to be rude, but Lele tried to do the white woman cry last night on Lady T, and I didn't believe her. Not one tear she cried. Yeah, it was a lot to watch. It just was sad and sickening to watch, because he's sitting there in the background, he pacing back and forth. He go off the camera to let her tell what's going on, and he come back to the camera trying to look all sad. You guys, like, man, you don't give a damn. You don't give a damn. you know you don't, for in my opinion, you don't give a damn, because anyone who truly has a soft spot for abuse, anybody has a soft spot for those type of traumatic situations, they ain't finna be sitting up here mocking and going into gruesome detail about a 7-year-old and a grown man either. So, and it's not been on one occasion. I'm not just saying this because he said it one time. This has been said over and over again. This has been the running joke that you've had with Latrese about her and her stepdad. You've said it on more than one occasion that she enjoyed what her stepdad did to her. So it's just very hard to believe that you're sitting back here massaging your woman's shoulders as she's going through this traumatic experience from the past, and you're genuinely interested. No, you genuinely just want the following and the money. That's what I'm observing. Yeah, it says nobody should be judging anyone. Take the plank out of your eye first. It says he went to go watch Treese live, in my opinion, when he left the camera. Probably so. Probably so. He is very sick. Very sick. Ms. John Foster Joy said, yes, I have said on other platforms. Right. It says, because I'm familiar with kids being sexually curious. Right. Like, I'm familiar with that as well. Like, I've saw it all the time growing up. Like I said, that's why I have certain rules in place for my child. That's why I made her delete TikTok. No, no, no. No, ma'am. I know the kids love TikTok, but I'm sorry. TikTok is inappropriate. Okay. TikTok will put some thoughts in your head. All the grinding, all the shaking, all the gyrating that goes on TikTok is only going to spark my child's imagination, and I don't want that type of stuff in her mind. That's why we don't do no closed doors around here. No, you can't leave me a room with the door closed. No. We don't do the whole, if you got company, ain't no sitting around here, running around in your underwear and your shirts and all that. You need to put on some clothes, be fully clothed. There's just certain rules I have in place because I know that children are curious. They're still human beings. People have to understand. Yes, the vast majority of children who grow up in a positive environment, they're going to be on the right path, and they're not going to be thinking about those type of things if you have the right tools in place. But it's very common for children to be curious about body parts, things they see on TV, sexuality. That is something that is common. Is it something that we should normalize? Is it something that we should glorify? Is it something that we should excuse if we see it happening with our children? Hell no. If you see your children doing something inappropriate, you need to talk to them. You need to reprimand. But I'm not finna sit up here and I'm not finna look at a situation between a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old and say, this 6-year-old was the villain and they're a terrible person, locks them up for life. I'm not finna do that. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, there's just so many layers to that situation. And when you look at the background, this was not a situation where Latrese was an older girl preying on a younger child. This was not a situation where, and don't get me wrong, the situation, thinking back to some of the things that happened when you were a child, it can be traumatizing. It can be like, oh my God, why was I doing this as a child? There's some things that I did as a child, like, why was I doing it? Like, I know for me personally, I used to like my grandma, she was really big on buying me Barbies, and she used to buy me Kens too. And I used to have them in there having fights, domestic disputes. I used to have them in there. The other Ken doll come to the door, and he done caught the other Ken doll in the house with the Barbie, and they about to fight, and they in there getting it on. I mean, it was just a lot of things. I'm like, why the hell was I doing that as a child? Um, and my mama and I grew up in the household by myself with my grandmama them, so they didn't have no men around. You know what I'm saying? So it was more so of me just probably going somewhere with my mama or watching movies and TV and seeing things, and so I understand that children do be curious because I once was a child. So I'm not with this whole trying to spin this narrative that we need to counsel this woman based on something that happened when she was a younger child than you, and you all were in the room with other children, and she's saying that these older children encourage this behavior. So it's just a lot. It's just a lot. Y'all laughing at me? Yeah, honey. I used to have Barbie. It used to be like a domestic dispute, honey. I had there was a police car. I don't know where I got the police car from, but honey, I used to have the police because I had the Barbie dream house and it had the beach house attachment. Okay, I was a spoiled child. I had every Barbie doll on the shelf. And when I was a child, they came out with a pregnant Barbie. Oh my God. So do you not? So I'm saying all this to say there is so much that goes on in the environment around us that is very easy for a child to become curious. They were literally selling pregnant Barbie dolls. People were protesting because how do you give a Barbie doll to a 4, 5-year-old child and explain a baby in the stomach? And that was a big deal. It was a big deal. But yes, honey, my Barbie dolls had some inappropriate stuff going on. Okay. I don't know what Ken homeboy name was, but it was a fight. I used to be knocking down the furniture. I had all type of stuff going on that just as a child I should not have been acting out. I should not have been sitting up in here playing out a domestic dispute where Ken done caught Barbie cheating. I just shouldn't have been doing that. But it happened, you know what I'm saying? And fortunately for me, I had a very strict great grandmother that, she helped raise because like I said, my mom had me at 17. So my mom was in my life as well. So my mom wasn't no deadbeat, but my mom also was a young woman. So she was getting jobs, working, stuff like that. So my great grandmama always had me and she didn't play that. Okay. So I didn't get to go off the deep end too bad until I got to high school and started just rebelling. But even with that, I still was exposed to different things and I still was curious, you know? Yeah, honey. It says I was outdone. Girl, when they made that When they made that pregnant Barbie baby, my mama was 38 hot. She said, I know damn well. So it's a lot. It's a lot. Yes, honey, Barbie and Ken's tales. Okay. Barbie is girl. It used to be As the World Turns, honey, Love and Hip Hop, back before Love and Hip Hop was even a thing. Okay. Let's see, I missed the comment. It says, Lele was running around playing hide and go hunch. Coco said it, so he was too, period. They be contradicting themselves in the same lives. Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. It's kind of like, I just feel like, he said a lot of things that are contradictory to the narrative that he's trying to push. It's a lot of contradicting going on. Since they pull that quick. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so I just feel like people are trying to exaggerate a situation. Like everybody and that's why even when my child, when she got into Barbie dolls and stuff, I told my mama, listen, don't be buying no Ken dolls, okay? Don't be buying no Ken dolls. I even remember my grandmama being kind of upset because they start making Barbies with the chest and the hips, and they start making the Ken dolls with the indention, and it was a lot. It was a lot to process, and at the end of the day, it triggered me to be curious as a child. So I'm not sitting up here saying that it's normal for children to be hunched on each other and all that type of stuff. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is these type of things do happen. And if you're going to speak about these things, you need to understand that you can't in the same breath be on a platform with a man who was just mocking these things. It don't add up. It says, right, my daughter is after that dog because her aunt is pregnant. I'm like, you're going to be all right. Right. Like that pregnant Barbie era was tragic because baby, like a lot of parents had to figure out how in the heck am I going to tell my child that this Barbie doll is pregnant? Okay. And even at school, I had a situation in kindergarten where, I had a classmate and he was very touchy feely and he was very frisky and he had to be disciplined several times for trying to hit somebody on the butt or trying to hunch on somebody or trying to do something like this. And, as we grew to be adults, it was something that okay, he had these behaviors in kindergarten, pre-K, because we went to school together all our life. But as he got to be an adult and as he got people to counsel him and talk to him over the years, because we had a very hands-on people at our schools and they didn't play that. If they saw you continuously doing something, they were like, they're gonna pull you to the side and ask you what the hell going on with you. But as he got older, he understood, like, no, I need to control myself. No, I'm not gonna go over here and try to be all fresh with the girls. Like, no, this is wrong. So all I'm saying is, I'm not trying to say that we should just totally dismiss, pain and trauma if it's coming from people we don't like. I ain't saying that. But what I'm saying is, or people whose content we don't care for. But what I'm saying is when we're listening to these people make allegations, we need to kind of put everything into perspective and look at the characteristics and the things that have transpired before these allegations are coming out. Hey, Sharonda Reed. Sharonda Red. It says we weren't allowed to get the Ken doll when we were growing up. Our friends would sneak theirs in the overnight bag at some parties. Exactly. Like it has been a known thing since the doom of time that children will be curious. Children will be curious because at the end of the day, biologically, we're humans. We're boys. We're girls. You know what I'm saying? We have body parts. We have a brain. We see things. We register things. Hey, Blessing Alexander. You know, it says, Miss Jump for Joy says, you're right. I don't like that part of what was going on last night. I'm trying to make it about him. I stopped following him because I felt some kind of way. I understand that. Right. Like, I'm not sitting up here saying that we should just totally dismiss every single thing that comes out of somebody's mouth if we don't like their content. I'm not saying that because certain things are serious, certain things are triggering. But what I'm saying is, I feel like this man is trying to be the master manipulator of the hate train and the takedown. Of course, he has people assisting him as well. And I just feel like I don't like people trying to utilize these serious situations and trying to play on people's emotions, knowing damn well that it ain't like you trying to put it out to be, you know? Mary Washington says, "How can you shed crocodile tears and at the same breath less than another human being, and at the same breath less than another human being that was being as a child?" Speaking of Coco, it's not about talking soft. It's about being right or wrong. Right. Like that is my biggest talking point. My biggest talking point is it is very hard for me to get with this whole smear campaign and let's label her as this when this very person who's trying to push this narrative along with others, the person who's, the man in the situation who's involved in this has made jokes and made allegations and mocked the behaviors of what happened when she was 7 years old. People laughed at it. They thought it was funny. They did not correct him. They didn't speak out. All they said was, well, we can't control what Coco say. You know what I'm saying? No one gave a damn. So at the end of the day, I can't take y'all serious when y'all trying to start this awareness campaign. I just can't. It says we play house and everything, and these kids now are doing stuff too. It's just a little bit more because what's out here, right? Like everybody know, mama and daddy, and you go over somebody's house, your mama take you over somebody's house, and you want to play mama and dad. Like what the hell y'all got going on over here? We don't play this at my house, So it's just a lot of it happens. It's common. It says hide and go get it. Right. And I'm not saying that this is something that I want my child to be out here doing. I'm not saying that it's right for children to be doing these things. So don't get me wrong at all. All I'm saying is I'm not about to sit up here and talk about and judge two small children that were more than likely coerced by older children to do something of this nature, because this situation is very common among small kids. That's all I'm saying. I'm not about to sit up here and do a whole smear campaign and a hate train and villainize somebody about what happened when two little girls were 6 and 8 years old and the person who's coming out with the situation was the older person at the time. I'm not about to do that. Sorry. Because it's too much that has transpired beforehand. Now, if Lele had came out from the very beginning and spoke out and brought awareness before she involved herself with Coco, then that's a different story. Then I would look at her in a different light. And there would be some empathy there. But you cannot go on a smear campaign with this man, laugh at all his cringy jokes about these children and these serious allegations that happened with her when she was small and all this, and then want us to take you serious at the end of the day. It don't work like that. I don't understand how you get blocked by somebody and go on a whole rampage. Okay. If everyone would have sided with Lele last night, Coco would have took credit for everything. Yes, exactly, honey. He would have been back there beating his chest. I'm the GOAT. I put this together. He just wants to feel important. He just wants to feel like he running some shit. He just wants to feel like, hey, I'm doing it. I brought y'all here. I am the champion of the Latrese takedown. That's what his ultimate goal is. That's what it seems like to me. It says, you're right. I'm not like that part. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he tried to turn on twist on him. I don't force my opinion on it too much because it's just my opinion. Yeah. It says, and had a 3-hour conversation with Treese after her and Coco supposedly broke up. How silly. Exactly. Like, thank you, One Man Band TV. Thank you for joining. But yeah, like I just don't understand. Like how do you have a 3-hour conversation with this lady? You come out and you say, you know what, Coco, you is obsessed. You talk about her, you obsessed with her and her money. And then when y'all make up the narrative changes, so you have been deceptive and you have told some half truths as well. You went back on your word as well. So we supposed to hold everything that y'all say as the Bible. Everything that Coco and company say, we're supposed to feel like it's the Bible, right? We're supposed to feel like nothing you all are saying should be questioned. Nobody should go against it. Everything you all are saying is 100% correct, but y'all have been moving funny as well. Period. It says, but I do want to say that that's their life. What's they're saying, you love it. If you like it, I love it. Yeah. you know. And don't get me wrong, like if she wants to be with him and she wants to indulge in the negativity every day and she wants to sit back and listen to her man talk about somebody his ex-girlfriend every day for a check, more power to her. Like you said, Miss Jump for Joy. If you like it, I love it. But don't try to drag somebody else down with it. You know, just keep it all the way 100. Don't try to get on here and spin the narrative. Do not try to get on here and pretend like you are the victim and someone came bothering you and you were innocently just sitting back and you weren't doing anything and somebody came and no, you with the shit. So own it. That's all I'm saying. Hmm. It says clicking it with Coco ran up on. Yeah, I see the lady join Coco's live and she mentioned that. And she pretty much questioned, like, why don't you come for these men the same way? So yes, I did. I did hear that. I did hear that. Mm-hmm. It's a lot. Hey, Sandra Cox. It's a lot, you know. Like I said, I give any man the side eye who has the energy to continue to go back and forth with a whole bunch of women all day about nothing. About nothing. Like, I'm not finna sit up here and stroke y'all ego and trash my ex girlfriend. I'm trying to move on. I'm trying to elevate. How are you gonna elevate and go places in life when you still stuck on the past? We've seen Trees try to move forward. We've seen her trying to change the subject several times, and you all continue to bring her right back to the gutter with y'all. You continue to bring her right back and trigger her to go back to the arguments. No one knows how to move forward, but you all want everyone to feel as if we should listen to you all. We should follow what you say. We should step it. We should put it on our forehead because you all know what the hell you're talking about. We know you just petty. You want the clout. You want the money. Just be honest about that. That's it. It says Lele tried to change the narrative of the PPP with going to that apartment too. Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, now as far as the PPP goes with Lele, you know, like I said, I have a side hustle and I got one as well or whatever. I have someone who's 100% mentally disabled that I do things for, run errands, go get medicine, all this and the third, and they give me a set amount. So I had a small side hustle as well, and I got a small one as well. So when it came to the PPP, a lot of people who had small side hustles, they did get one. So I don't know if she qualified to get one, being that she's a contracted traveling nurse. I don't know if there was, if she wants to break off and do something on the side with it or whatever. I don't know, about that, but I do feel like it was a rush to change the narrative. I definitely do. And I just feel like if you got it, just own it and say you got it. Hell, shit. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But don't try to, okay, they're talking about me, they're bringing these things out about me, so let me try to go and run and talk about these allegations. Like, no, just stand in your shit to say, and say, I got it. Hell, somebody tried to expose me for having one before, and I had been said on my platform a long time ago. You know? Hell yeah, I got one. If you had a small business during that time that was affected by the situation, because at that time with older people, they ain't finna get in your car and then do all that when the pandemic going on. So if you got things going on, um, if you had something going on and you got the PPP, just say you got the PPP, but you don't have to go and try to spin this whole narrative that someone is antagonizing and abusing you. Like, no, own it. Hell yeah, I got the PPP and what? That's all you had to say. It is what it is. Exactly, Beauty J. Just own it. I just don't understand how they thought we were going to blame how for. I just don't understand how they thought we were going to blame her for something that happened when she was 7. Y'all 7. She acted like she really had a story to tell. What about the older girls? Exactly. I believe what Trish was saying. I believe that there were, because she said it as well. She said there were other girls in the room. I believe there were older children hyping these smaller children up to do inappropriate things. That's what I believe now. Like I said, I'm not God. I wouldn't know. We would never know. Only God knows, right? But I feel like that was a plot to try to switch the narrative because people were putting out her personal information about where she lived, her loan, all this, that, and the third. Exactly. Just own it. It is what it is. And says, and she got a washer and dryer. So why is she taking her own man to the laundromat? That's questionable. Right. It's a classic case of smear campaigning. They try to ruin her. I'm gonna stick beside her. I have never spoke to her, but that's my girl. Ain't nobody gonna bully her, especially with these vibe people. Exactly. Like I've never had a conversation with her. She commented on one of my videos, but I don't know Latrese personally. I don't know her from a can of paint. She's never paid me anything. But at the end of the day, we can see right through it. It's just like the people who criticize her and have these platforms, the token platforms, the I hate trees platforms, they cannot take any type of constructive criticism, any type of feedback when it comes to people um when it comes to people giving them their giving them a different opinion than what they're used to. It all hell breaks loose if anybody ever questions their motive, but yet you want us to sit back, shut up, and watch you all literally try to ruin and end somebody. No. It says, you right, but your situation is totally different than Latrese. She had a trauma that had happened to her. And when you see your kids acting out in the same manner, there need to be some counseling. But she had already said that one of her children was in counseling. And at the end of the day, I'm not here to tell nobody what to do with their children. I don't know what is being done behind the scenes with the children. Now, at the end of the day, of course, if there are rumors and if there's information out that these children are um these children are continuously acting out and doing things that are inappropriate, of course anyone would give any advice to another parent and just be like, look girl, you need to kind of look into this a little bit deeper. I think that goes without saying, but I feel like the situation with these children was exploited and exaggerated to fit a narrative. That's what I feel. At the end of the day, she went into detail about the things that transpired with her children, and she did say that one of the twins was in counseling. She said one of the twins has issues, anger issues and things of that nature, and she was seeking getting her child help, and we don't know what help her children are getting now that they're in a different environment. And at the end of the day, I would just move different, totally from a lot of people in this situation, because I would have been said the hell with social media by now. Bump all y'all, I'm gone. But at the end of the day, we're all different. We're all different, So if this has been her bread and butter, this is how she's been eating, this is how she's been grinding. Then if she felt that it was best to let her children be in a more stable environment where they can get the proper care, the proper attention, and they don't have to be. Oh Lord, y'all, what is going on? Look, honey. I'm sorry, y'all. Look, honey, every now and then you may hear gunshots where I live, okay? Listen, I live in my truth, okay? I'm semi-bougie, but a little hood, okay? So every now and then it be a pow, pow, pow. Y'all disregard that. But, look at my child coming here. But with that being said, at the end of the day, that is not for us to harshly crucify somebody if we're not in the household with them, knowing what solutions are being given on a daily basis. One second, y'all. My child coming in here with this live phone. One moment. Okay, my bad, y'all. Okay, let's see. It says, but why? Exactly, like why? And that's another thing. I'm questioning the motive of the friends. All of these friends who are bringing this information to the forefront now. If you all allegedly sat back and witnessed these things going on, why were you all not doing your due diligence and getting the correction at that moment? If there were so many gruesome things going on, then why in the world were you all not saying something right then on the spot right there? Why are you all running to a platform that also talked about y'all like a dog when y'all was hanging with trees, that didn't care for y'all when y'all was with trees? Why run to a platform to spread the information? Why is your first line of duty is to go to a gossip page on YouTube with information versus the popo or defects? So it does not make sense to me why people feel like uh, the curious said, "Baby, don't worry. In NYC we hear gunshots too. Okay, okay, y'all. I'm a little bougetto. Okay, you may hear a gunshot every now and then, but everything gonna be all right. But and I think sometimes people just it'd be so random, like it'd be like pop pop, and then like nothing happened. You don't see nothing on the news, so it's like, do y'all just go outside and just shoot for fun? Like what's going on? But every so often, every blue moon, we'll hear that pop pop, and my child come running in here, honey, because my child like, what is that? But yeah, but back to the friends. Why are you all not? Why is the first thing that you all want to do is run to a gossip page on YouTube? If you witness children who were being neglected, or who are in a severely neglectful situation where there is so much acting out going on that is causing this much of an extreme, gruesome concern, then why is your first line of communication not the authorities? Why are you all not talking to people who can really get in there and help? If this person is this gruesome monster that you all claim she is, then why the hell are you running to someone who is not a police? Isn't can't do nothing about it but talk about it and spread it on YouTube? I'm confused. I'm thoroughly confused. Because everyone parenting is different. Those are her kids. Being a mom didn't come with a manual. We all have things to work on. So at the end of the day, I can't say what she is or isn't doing with her children. I know one thing that we saw that she did with her children is that when everything was getting crazy, when addresses were getting leaked, when defects was coming to the door, she made a decision to put them in a more stable environment. And I will say that while me personally, I feel like I would have just personally just took a break from social media and just detox for a little while, because I don't know if I can be without, my child on a daily basis. But at the end of the day, I will say that with them, when she goes to visit them in Florida, they look happy. They look like they're doing well. So everyone parents differently. Everyone is not going to make the same decision as a parent. It says just because y'all don't see her getting her kids help doesn't mean she's not. Exactly. It says we don't know what conversations and relations she's had with those children to try to help them. We are on the outside looking in. And at the end of the day, you have to understand these are small children. So it's not for her to bring her children on a public platform and reprimand them and give us the step by step and the play by play. A lot of times these things are embarrassing for children to go through. It's embarrassing to be called out for you know hold on one second, y'all. But yeah, it is embarrassing to, have to relive things that you are not proud of that your children are doing. So at the end of the day, we don't know what conversations or what has been done behind the scenes or what she's doing. Key32 says Coco wants to be the highest, and Lele is Ruth, and Roz is elder mother. Y'all watch Ruthless. I don't watch Ruthless, but I can envision what you're talking about, honey. It says, and it seems like exactly, and she visits them a lot. And it's not, and I'm not trying to be funny, but no one has any room to be judging anybody in this situation. Like I said, we all have our own set of things going on. I'm not finna go digging up nobody's whole life and trying to find out what they got going on and picking and prodding. I'm not doing that. Because at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure we all would do something different. We all would parent differently. We all would have a nutrition plan for our children differently. We all would do something different. It's easy to sit back and judge others and talk about what you would, should, and could do. Everyone is brought up differently. Everyone has a different background. Everyone has their own traumatic experience and things that they've been through that's going to shape the way they move and the way they act. So at the end of the day, I just don't understand how we are sitting up, the expectation is for us to sit up here and be extremely judgmental and dig so deep into this woman's life that now we have situations where their police have to get involved and people have been recording her child and all these allegations, and for what? For some entertainment? I just don't understand it. I don't understand it. It's not making sense to me. We just going all I'm saying is we're going to have to make this thing make some sense. Period. Period. We got to make it make some sense. you know? Because it's not making sense at this point. And what I don't feel like is right, and I feel like people need to stop doing, is stop trying to use these traumatic experience, stop trying to use these triggering events to get people to buy into it. It's either people going to buy into it or they're not. But you don't have to go trying to fabricate and exaggerate and try to bring up something that you wouldn't even bring it up before, you wouldn't even think about before, you had no intentions of bringing up until you saw a new narrative being created that could be more detrimental to taking this person down. It says, I just want to leave that lady alone. I just want them to leave that lady alone. That's all. Just leave her be. That's all I'm saying. Let her do her thing. At the end of the day, if there is something that needs to be exposed, God will bring it out. Y'all are not God. You all are not God. And then, people were saying, oh, I can't wait to see the look on her supporters' faces when all this comes out. At the end of the day, I don't know none of these people involved personally, okay? And that includes Latrese. While I'm speaking out in support of her, at the end of the day, like I said, I'm not God. So whatever is brought to the forefront, that is going to be something that she, if it's true, because honestly, we don't know what damn truth it is to it. But if there is anything that comes to the forefront, those are things that she's going to have to answer for. It still does not justify being evil, nasty, and meaning and starting a hate train on somebody. Period. These are babies. They're innocent. And I'm starting to think Coco and Roz are using Tree's kids for payment from YouTube. This got to be exploitation. It got to be something, but it's sick. Tree sent her children because someone threatened to call CPS and she didn't want that to happen again. Exactly. She said, like, you gotta think. Why would you want to wake up every day? You have 1 million followers at this point. There's literally probably hundreds of complaints on a monthly basis when it comes to CPS, and these people are coming to your door. That is tiring. And so this though, and you've invested in things, you've gotten houses, you've gotten expenses, and you have to keep the income coming in. So at this point, social media is how you make your money. So certain sacrifices have to be made. There are a lot of social media people and celebrities who have their children living separately from them on a daily basis because of the type of nature of the work they do. That's not uncommon to hear of. There are a lot of people who have children that stay with their parents while they travel and do things of that nature. So who am I to sit back and crucially judge the situation? I can't do that. It says his nephew just celebrated a major event in his life and I didn't see him there, but he has time for drama. Right. It's like they're so consumed in this drama that this man literally on the birthday trip, talking about this woman. You can't say, look, y'all, I know y'all want to get into some things with Trees. I know y'all want to talk about it, but this is my birthday weekend. We're not gonna talk about Latrese. We're not gonna fill my birthday weekend up with that negativity. I'm celebrating another year of life. All I want to do is have some fun, let my hair down, and enjoy another year being here on this earth and not being behind bars. That could have been a simple thing to do and say to your audience. But no, you want to fill your conversation up with Latrese because you want to continue to push the narrative so that it can continue to line your pockets because you know that this is a popular topic that is bringing you bread. Period. It says agree. He didn't even go see his nephew. It says Coco probably don't even see his niece and nephew. He's all into ruining Trees and controlling Lele. It says, yeah, what happened to Coco with his nieces and nephews? It says he ain't think about them kids. He claimed to have loved and exploited. It says, it is sad that he said his nephew was first in the last name to graduate from high school. That says a lot. Well, so his nephew was the first to graduate from high school, right? And that is something interesting. And at the end of the day, when it all boils down to it, all I'm saying here on this platform is everybody got something they dealing with. Everybody has some level of trauma. Everybody has some level of pain. Everybody has some level of wrong they've done. Everybody has some level of rights they've done. Own your shit, stand in your shit, but do not sit up here and try to create false narratives and try to play on people's emotion. If somebody, you cannot roll around in the mud and then expect to get up with nothing on you. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to this whole situation with the accusations from Lele, ma'am, you have set up here and have voluntarily connected yourself to this woman for a long time now. You have voluntarily sat back and participated in conversation after conversation after conversation. And some conversations included mocking molestation. Period. Some conversations included you laughing in the background while it was being mocked. Some conversations included you hooping and hollering, laughing loud on the phone with whoever when they giving you the rundown on what supposedly going on with this woman kids. So your hands are not clean in this situation. So you cannot get up and demand all this empathy and all this grace and all this mercy from everyone and everybody support me and don't, man, listen. Summon, and I'm gonna summarize it up by saying this. I personally feel that this is an extreme smear campaign. The chain of events that have transpired with this situation are inconsistent for me. The actions of those who are trying to bring awareness and want sympathy are questionable to me. And at the end of the day, this is all a plot and a mission to ruin one person. And these people are going to try every narrative they can. When this narrative don't work because people are calling it bull, it's going to be something else, and it's going to be something else, and it's going to be something else. It says, I feel he used some kids too to get more money. It says he definitely did this, that, and the third. It's the whole side of the last name Coco has that's very, very sad. I got pissed the other night when she seemed to be mocking special needs people. Yeah. He should have blogged his nephew's achievement, but it doesn't fit his narrative right now. Disgusting person. Those that brag the way she does speak volumes. She's nothing while she's wishing bad things and all of it backfiring. Yeah, like at the end of the day, you know, I don't know anybody involved personally, but I just feel like I know the narrative that have been put out. And the narrative that has been put out is we want you all to stop supporting this woman. She's sick, she's evil, she's this. This is what they're trying to say about Latrese. They want no one to support her. They want everyone to flock to their platform and listen to what they're saying and quote everything they're saying like it's in the King James version of the Bible. But yet their hands are not clean. And I refuse to allow someone to dictate how I'm going to think about someone else when I can see all sides of the situation. And there's a lot of other stuff going on here that is very, very much so questionable. Very much so questionable. And there's a lot of manipulation going on. You all sat around here and put out these allegations and dance around it. You all would never come out and really say what the flat out allegation is, but you all were given all these hints, all these clues. And then when Latrese comes out with it to just say, and she just spills the truth about what y'all trying to say. Oh, see, she said it. She hit dog a holler. We never said what it was, but you all are giving a million context clues for everyone to think what it is. We put two and two together before she said anything. It's manipulative tactics like that turn me off from this whole situation. So yes, Lele brought up a triggering situation last night. She brought up a traumatic, something that was allegedly traumatic that happened. But it's hard to tap into empathizing with these people when they've had their hand in some foolish actions as well. The same way if Latrese came on here right now with a sob story and she talked about how, like I said, when she did that live and when she was talking about, dang, maybe the Lord should take me. That was sad. That was sad to hear somebody speak that way about social media, but nobody gave a damn because you all don't like her. So all I'm saying is let the playing field be fair. If you're going to go after somebody and attack somebody and tear them down and antagonize them and talking about their trauma and talk about their pain and talk about their kids and brag about using them and you align yourself with every ex-friend they have and put yourself in all these messy situations, then don't try to come back and be upset when you also the same backlash this person is getting, now you start getting it. Don't be surprised and don't be upset. It says, in this whole year, what has Coco done that's positive besides moving into the apartment? Hold on. My bad, y'all. It says, but these supporters don't even care about them. If y'all notice on their videos, they're not talking about them. They're getting no views. They won't even follow Ra's daughter. It says, but when cold hard facts are presented, such as third degree felony fraud by Lele, it's serious. Yeah. It's been quiet today. But yes, honey, we've been on here for almost 2 hours. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's as simple as this. There have been too many questionable chain of events that have transpired from these people for me to sit up here and hop on any bandwagon to drag somebody off some allegations. Allegations are just that, they're allegations. And just because a platform full of people are screaming something to the top of their lungs, does not always mean there's truth to it. You know what I'm saying? It does not always mean that, everyone is sick and evil if they don't follow suit with the narrative that people are trying to push. Know when to pull back. No, we would have never been this far had people not committed themselves to being overly invested in the situation. If you all had not signed up with the duty to take this person down and drag them and tarnish their name and everything they work hard for in their brand, we wouldn't be here today. And I'm not finna sit back and co-sign a grown man mocking abuse, mocking someone's children, talking bad about women, all that just because I may not care for the content creator that he used to be in a relationship with. Period. Period. Oh, thank you for the hearts, Miss. Hey, Christine Bennett. But yeah, so we're gonna stay tuned. We are gonna stay tuned. But my advice to Lele is, honey, if you gonna sit up here and if you gonna want all this sympathy, and if you're gonna want people to believe that you had no parts and you didn't start anything and you had no dealings with all this drama and you're just an innocent bystander, then you may want to find you another man. Because as long as you're aligning yourself with this man who is a platform dedicated to hating a woman, it's going to be chaos. It's going to be trouble every single day. It's going to be never ending. You don't have the power to end anybody. You're not God. It ain't over till God say it's over. Okay? It ain't over. Okay? It ain't over till God say it's over. And we got to stop feeling so entitled to other people's life. I'm not finna go dig up every single detail about somebody I don't like. I just don't care that much. There have been people that have tried to say this, that, and third about me. I'm not going to dig up your information. I don't give a damn. Say what you want to say. Anything that can be brought about me, I can stand on it with my head up to the sky, because at the end of the day, ain't nobody perfect. You know? But it's just like, period. Sanitize, y'all need to stop using God name. It ain't about using God name in vain. This is just the truth. It's just the truth. Like, at the end of the day, stop sitting up here attacking people and antagonizing people and trying to end people like you're God. That's not using God names in vain. That's just simply saying it's the truth. If you feel like you have the power to end someone and you have the power to take something away from somebody, you are giving yourself too much credit, because at the end of the day, ain't nobody got that much power over nothing. Especially when it's all originated from you antagonizing somebody. It's one thing if there's someone coming to the neighborhood, knocking over everybody's trash can, keying everybody's car, kicking over everybody decorations in their front yard, chasing the kids. Like, okay, that's the type of person that you're gonna go after and you're gonna try to take them down, and you're gonna report them to the authorities and do whatever. But if somebody on social media raising their kids, minding their business, doing things the way they want to do them, because you don't agree, that doesn't give you the right to come attack that person, antagonize them, try to align yourself with everybody they fall out with, dig up their information, and try to put out all these different narratives. Period. Period. Hey, Kimmy Walker. But all right, you guys. So I am about to get my child ready for bed, honey. But it was nice talking with all you beautiful people. Like I said, we're going to follow this. We are going to follow this, honey. We are going to keep up with it. And it's okay to have a difference of opinion. You don't have to come and be hostile against someone who does not have the same perspective that you have. I think what we have to realize is we are all spectators in the situation with a different perspective. We don't have no business getting out here rolling in the mud with nobody about nothing because we're all strangers on the internet watching this play out. And all I'm simply saying is a lot of these things that are playing out are conniving, vindictive, and manipulative, in my opinion. I have the right to express that, you know? But like I said, I appreciate you all for hanging in here with me. And we, like I said, we're gonna keep up. We're gonna keep watching. I like to try to go live at least, once a week or whatever. I may try to up that depending on what type of free time I have. I have a few things, like I said, that I'm doing on the side. And you know, it says all the negative channels against trees set rise is quiet. Yeah. It's been pretty quiet today on these YouTube streets, so we'll see how it plays out. But I will try to cover it. Like I said, I ain't making no promises, but I do love coming in here talking with y'all, and it feels it's a good conversation that gets going in this chat. So I appreciate you all for all of your ongoing support, and like I said, we will definitely catch up with it and talk about it. So everybody have a beauty tea. Jay ended off very well. Have a beautiful and productive week, honey. It is springtime. Do your spring cleaning. Change your sheets out. Put you some new curtains on. Change the colors in your living room. Put some new pillows. Mop that floor. Get you a planner. Put you some goals in it for the next 6 months. Seek out some entrepreneur ventures. Tap into some things so we can have a good summer. Take these kids to these water parks. Okay. Go to Disney World, have a good old time. Let's everyone have a productive weekend. Let's just try to have a fun, awesome summer in the midst of all this negativity and all these dark things that transpires on the internet. Don't forget to unplug and just have fun. It's the summer. It's about to be hot. The kids about to be out of school. Let's learn how to unplug, not be so wrapped up in all this drama, and just have fun, you guys. I'm going to end it on that. But good night. Hit the like button on your way out. And I love you all. And I will see you all in my next video. Love y'all.